Hey everyone, this is Mel from Sewing with Mel, and recently someone asked, how do I make an applique in Design Center? So what they're asking to do is, you've seen those cute little designs for little kids on Etsy, like for birthdays and stuff, and there's like a big number 5 in an applique with maybe a cute little design next to it and their name underneath. I would show a picture, but those pictures belong to the people on Etsy, and they're not mine to use. So, and I don't have one, so I can't show it to you. But let's work on how to make one of the numbers. Let's start with that. Let's make a number to do applique with, like we were gonna do it for one of those cute little designs. Okay, so you can scan in a number and trace around it, or you can also use one of the numbers that's already in your machine. We're going to do that because it's easier, and it's a good way to start. Okay, so I'm going to choose this, and I like this font for this example because it will lend itself well to applique. Okay, so let's choose that, and let's go down and let's find a number. Now, I'm going to point out right now that it only makes a stamp around the outside. Okay, so if you've got something that's got a hole in the middle of it, there, doing it this way won't work because it won't make a stamp of the middle part of it. All right, so let's do it too. Okay. We want an outline of this. This is a design, so it's all stitched. We don't want that. We're just using it. Let's go to Set and hit Edit. Okay, see this key right here? It's got a flower on it, and it's got a black line around it. That is your stamp key. Let's hit it. And it has now made an outline of that 2. Okay? And here's your distance. If I make it smaller, it brings the outline in. If I make it bigger, it brings it out. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and we're going to save it to our stamps. That's what this is right here. So let's hit that. Recall from my Design Center stamp pattern list. See that right there? This is how you get to your stamp. You go to My Design Center, hit the shapes, and it will take you to your stamps. And we're going to do that next. We'll say okay. Now we don't need this anymore. Okay, so let's get out of it. Come back to here. Let's go to My Design Center. Okay, now where is it? In Shapes. Hit Shapes and look right up there. There's your flower. That's where it got saved to. It's under that key. So you can tell I've been playing. There it is. You can't delete these, but you can only save 6 at a time. So as you keep saving them, the rest of them fall off. Okay, so if I put 6 more, these would all disappear. They just drop off. Okay. All right, so let's choose the 2 and say okay. Now, remember that this is the size of your very biggest hoop. Okay, that's a big 2. I would like my 2 to be smaller. I'm going to hit Size, and I'm going to make it smaller exponentially. I think that means all the way around. Okay, let's make it smaller. Look up here. See the numbers changing? I want this to fit in a 4x4 hoop. So I'm going to make it smaller and a little bit smaller. This will fit in a 4x4 hoop now. Okay, say okay. All right. Now, although it looks like that might be stitching, it's not stitching. It's just a line that was drawn by the stamp. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to make the first step of an applique. So let's talk about that really quick. There are three embroidery steps to the applique. The first one is just a line of straight stitching that is the outline of your applique. Okay, and the first one's called a placement stitch. So it gets stitched right onto your fabric that you're going to lay your applique on. Okay. okay? The second one is a tack down stitch, and it's exactly like the first one. You need it because you put the placement stitch, then you lay your fabric on top, and then the tack down stitch goes on. And then you take it out, don't take it out of the hoop, leave it in the hoop, but take the hoop out, cut around it, and then you put it back in. And then you do the third one, which is satin stitching all the way around the outside to hold the fabric down, okay? So we need to make those 3 steps, okay? So let's do the first one. Let's do the placement stitch, all right? In order to do that, come up here to your properties. Right now, the default, it always ends up on satin stitch. We're not satin stitching. Choose the second one. That is a straight stitch. Now, I will say it does go around twice, okay? That's a lot for a placement stitch, but that's what we get. We can't change it to 1. It doesn't go around 1, it has to go around twice. Let's also change the color. Let's say that I want my placement stitch to be red. Okay? Chosen, say okay. Hit the button. All right. Now, just because you told it that you wanted it to change doesn't mean that it's changed over here. It's just changed over here. We need to now apply what we did to this. Choose the bucket, touch the line. It's now changed. Okay, that's it for the first part of your applique, okay? That's your placement stitch. Now what we want to do is save that, okay? Recall, save, okay? The red one is save. Hit the machine. It's now saved. Now it's saved in Design Center, okay? You can't go out of Design Center and pull this up on your machine. It's saved in Design Center, and I'll tell you why we're doing that, okay? Let's move on to the next one. The next step is the tack down stitch, which is exactly like the placement stitch. But we want it to be a different color because it's easier to tell what we're doing that way, okay? So let's go in, go to properties, leave it on that stitch. You want it the same stitch. Let's change it to blue or purple or whatever color that is. Bucket, it's already highlighted. It's ready to go. I'm going to change it. All right. This way I can tell the difference between the two, okay? Blue. We want to save this one also, okay? Red, save. Hit your machine, it's saved. All right, let's do the third step. The third step, we're going to change the stitching to satin stitching, okay? So let's go back to the properties and let's choose a different color. Let's make it green instead and change it to this zigzag. That is your satin stitch. And then hit OK. Bucket, touch. It's green now. Okay. Now you can't tell that that is a satin stitch in this screen, okay? Go to next. You're still not going to see it very good. It is satin stitch, but you can't really tell. It's a really skinny satin stitch. Because I've played with this enough, I know that I would like my satin stitch not to be the default, but to be 0.200. So let's change that. Touch it. Change your width. Make it bigger. See it? Hit set. You're still not going to see it. It's still not in the right screen. We've changed it. Okay. I want to explain something here. You want to save this now, because if you save it after we do all of this, it will be in a different place than your other two pieces. We want to save it now. Save it. And then hit preview. There it is. That's what it looks like. Okay? Now, let's get totally out of this. We don't need any of this stuff. Let's just get out. Go back to embroidery and let's start over. We need to pull in each one of those designs we just saved in the order in which they're going to be stitched, okay? So let's go to my design center. Recall, machine. Look at that, there they are. This is the first one we did. Second, third. Choose this one first. Say set. You're gonna have to go through the motions. Go next, preview, say okay, set. And now you can't go backwards, but we're not changing anything, so we're good. Then hit OK. There's a reason I'm doing it this way. Could you save all of those in your machine and then pull them in? Not in Design Center, you can. But when you do it through Design Center, they automatically lay on top of each other perfectly. If you do it the other way, you have to move them and put them where you want them. This is much easier. You have to push some more buttons, but I like it better. Okay, there's your first one. This is your placement stitch. Let's add the tack down. Add, Design Center, recall, machine. There it is. There's number 2. Choose it, set, yes, yes, okay, and set. All right, now they're both on there. Red, blue. Let's add one more. Add, Design Center, recall, machine. Let's pick the green one. That's the last one. Now remember, it doesn't look like it's satin stitched, but it is. Set. Next. Yep. Okay. And set. They're all 3 there. Okay. Then you can go to embroidery. But I want to show you something first. If you hit, let me go back. If you hit this hoop up here, right in the very corner, hit the hoop, you can see how this is going to stitch out in your hoop. It's telling me it won't be in a 4x4, it's going to be in a 5x7. That's fine. I don't care which hoop it's in. I just want to see it. Right there. Now, I'm not sure if this is in the Dream Machine without the second upgrade. I just don't know the answer to that. So hit your hoop and see if you have this right here. This is going to show us the stitch out. Hit go. There's your placement. And there's your tack down. And there is your satin stitch. Pretty cool feature. All right, so we know that we got them in the right order. Hit OK. Then you would go to embroidery. Okay, that's how you do your applique. So you're going to stitch this first, lay your fabric on top, then you stitch the next one, and then you carefully take your hoop out, cut around your stitching, and cut as close to your stitching as you can without cutting through it. Put it back in your machine, hold your embroidery arm, okay, so that it does not get moved. Otherwise your stuff won't line up. Then put it back in, change your thread color, do whatever you got to do, and stitch out the last one. So that is how you make the number in Design Center, okay? I think what I'll do is make several videos so that I can show you how we end up putting everything together, and maybe for the next number, we will do a scan-in one instead of choosing one from the machine, and maybe we'll do one with a hole in it, like an 8 or a 0. Of course, no one's 0, but they're 10, aren't they? So that way we can see how to make the center part too. Okay? All right, I hope this helps you guys out, and I'll see you next video.